So question 7, you're going to eventually use the same sort of method as the previous ones. The difference being is that, in fact, we've got question 6 is similar as well. Let's make sure we understand what a mixed number is. Well, you've probably seen 2.5 before. The way you say it, 2.5, it means two things and a half of a thing. So just draw a diagram so we can understand what we're seeing here. So this diagram would represent 2.5 because we've got two things, and then the third thing has been cut in half, and we've just got one of those halves, so 2.5. Now, if we can imagine taking these two whole objects and replacing them with chopping them in half, but keeping both halves, right? Whoops, that's what I wanted to do. So, in other words, we could draw the whole picture like this, right? We've still got the same amount of stuff. We've just cut it in half. So now we can, of course, see that one whole thing is the same as two halves. In fact, altogether, we now have 5 halves. So you can say that, so 2.5, of course, means 2 plus a half. And as you can see, 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4 halves. And altogether, we've got 5 halves, which should be written as this, 5 over 2. So the way to work with fractions is, the way to work with mixed numbers, I should say, is to first turn them into something we can call a top-heavy fraction. In other words, this is a fraction, but it's actually greater than 1 because the numerator is larger than the denominator, so that's why we call it top-heavy. So we do something similar with the other number as well, and then eventually we would work out how to write the whole thing out. So this time I'm going to do the other number without a diagram. So we've got 1 and 2/5, which is the same as 1 plus 2/5. Now 1 would be the same as 5 over 5. Okay. So the reason why I'm doing 5 over 5 is because then it's going to have the same denominator as 2 over 5. So 1 and 2/5 is the same as 7 over 5. So these two can be rewritten as 7 over 5 plus 5 over 2. So now we have a question very similar to what we did earlier on. We just have to work out what the common denominator. We have to find the denominator that works. 5 does not go into 2. 2 does not go into 5, and so we need a brand new denominator for both of them. And the way to decide what that denominator is going to be is by just multiplying the two numbers, and we get 10. And then we go, to get the 5 into 10, we had multiplied it by 2. So we multiply the 7 by 2, giving us 14. To get the 2 to 10, we'd multiply it by 5. So we multiply the 5 by 5 as well, gives us 25. And then we add the two numbers together. 14 plus 25 is 39. 39 over 10. Right. And now it says give your answer as a mixed number. We have to convert it back into a mixed number. So we've got to do something like what we did here, but in reverse. Well, so what I do is similar. We talked about chunking before. We're going to chunk in a different way. So we can see that. In fact, I know what I'll do. I will take this, move it down there, and say that's the same as 30 over 10 plus 9 over 10. Why did I do 30 over 10? Because 30 over 10 is 3. And then I can write just 3 and 9/10. So there's my answer. So I'm going to erase all that as well and just save the video so you can have a go at that yourself. And all these, I think, be good to have a practice at all these between the lessons. So I'm just going to erase that, and then I'll save the video right here.